Hi guys, welcome to my channel. This is Max. I'm a massage therapist and an osteopath here in Barcelona. In this video I will show you the best technique you can use to make your client feel better, act better, perform better in their sport, in their life. I mix deep tissue massage, active release technique, osteopathic technique, and Thai massage to give the best recipe and solve most of their problem, if it's possible, in their body. So I start my massage with testing. Testing is one of the most important things you can do to understand the difference between one side of the body and the other, to understand the range of motion of one joint and understand the range of motion of the other joint. So when you have a specular idea of what's going on in the body and the biomechanical impediment you can find, testing is what helps you to understand how to proceed. So I will not talk for all the video. I will just explain the main technique and when there is something that is really need to be explained. I have a Patreon where I offer creative deep tissue massage on plus size women. It's not for everybody, but I will definitely check if you're interested in this kind of concept. Now I'm stretching the piriformis muscle. You can even use some circulatory movement to make it more interesting.
Sí.
Here some release of the sacrum and of the lower back and the glutes. She was telling me that she was feeling some tightness in the back. She always suffers from lumbar discomfort. So we're trying to release that part of the body that is conformed with multifidus, all the ligaments that go into the sacrum. And we are working in the spiral line. It's an interesting work to do because it's related mostly to athletic performance. Spiral line that you can be using golf, tennis. I noticed, for example, that CrossFit athletes, they don't use a lot the spiral line. That was one of the concerns from functional pattern. It was interesting a long time ago when I was doing CrossFit, and how the spiral line is not really used, but it's a really an essential part of our body. And now we are working on the diaphragm. So you ask your client to breathe, and you impede the diaphragm to go down so that you can open it up. It's like an umbrella that you want to open up. The bigger the umbrella, the better you breathe, the better you have the better oxygenation you have in your body, the less stress, and of course less tension in your scalene and in your neck. So sometimes you have tension in your neck, you will never thought about it, but it can be the diaphragm, for example. So it's really important to work with, and the tension in your diaphragm can be even, and in the visceral, can be related to back pain. So I say, let's work on that and see if we can release the tension in the stomach and make the lumbar get better. You can grab the diaphragm from different position. Most important thing, you need to be comfortable. If you are tense when you do the massage, if your body mechanic is not perfect, you can get really tense and you do not get the best energy in the tissue that you want to work on. So you want to be relaxed, you want to be comfortable, and the massage will be much improved. Now I'm working again on the multifidus, on the glutes. Every time I do a video, you probably see some highlight of what I do, but most of the time is an exploration. I don't use all this technique with my client. I use some of them, and in the video I allow myself to discover. So for me, it's it's a way to improve my work as a massage therapist, to try new things. Because I know watching massage can be like as interesting as watching the paint dry or watching a baseball game. So right now I'm stretching the glutes, and at the same time I'm working on the rotation of the spine. So I'm working on that multifidus and all the erectors of the spine. You will see now lumbar roll technique to adjust the L5, L4. If you like great massage videos, yeah, you can stay here. But if you want to watch really a great master of osteopathic technique, that's Gabriele Benedetti. I will definitely check that channel. He's my teacher. He taught me most of the technique. I don't know if I'm performing that right, but he's really a master. He's a precise osteopath. Here you have some work on the iliopsoas, psoas that can be really tense in people with back pain. So what we're asking is to contract, as you can see, to contract the leg. Then you make the leg relax and you extend. So you can kind of feel under the visceral, the iliopsoas moving. It's not so. Cannot prove that you can really reach the iliopsoas because you have the intestine in the front, so you have muscle, you have all this intestine in the front, so reaching there is kind of complicated. But I think the iliopsoas work can still be a good way to release the back and to make the people feel better, especially if there is a lower cross syndrome. Now some stretching of the back and the sacral and the lumbar ligament. Some work on a diagonal axis. Here you have another angle of the same work. I like to try to find the flow when I give a massage. Here another lumbar roll on the other side.
Bien. Respira. Y fuera. Bien. Sí. Sí, me encanta.
I noticed that she was kind of getting tense on the trap. So we work on that trap and try to release. See how is the shoulder go all the way up. This technique is actually it's an opening of the lumbar. It's nothing crazy. It looks kind of intense, but it's not so crazy. So I'm working on the erectors of the spine, iliocostalis, and I'm trying to mobilize the spine. Be on top in this kind of squat position. You can move from a squat position to a deadlift position, the one that works better for you. It can be pretty intense. Don't do this if you are not really comfortable with your client to do this position. Then some stretching on the upper. Ask her to try to release everything, to move and to Try to feel like, yes, that's what I mean. Like try to release the rhomboid, try to release the manguito del rotator, I would say in Spanish, the rotator cuff.
Ora se stira lo sguante, se no non puedo tenere sto. Per adesso tengo lo sguante perché veramente.
So of course, going up and down of the table can be pretty intense. And now some work on the rotational of the upper part of the body. Sometimes you want to use both hands to work there, so that's why I block the hips with this jiu-jitsu move, and I try to release that rhomboid with some dynamic Thai massage. The main objective is try to make the client relax, even if you're moving them. Like you see, it's becoming like a kind of like a snake. You want to move the spine like a snake. I don't suggest you to do this, as it's better if you go around. Now some work on the rotator cuff. Some interesting work, I think, on the rhomboid. And then you can use some mobilization of the omero and the back capsule of the shoulder. Another great technique for Twina. Oh well, I never thought about that I will use Twina, but it's actually happening. It's a complete movement of the capsule of the shoulder.
Sto molesta un poquito. Yeah.
Now working on the pec minor, trying to release that muscle that can be really tight, especially if you have a big breast. Some people ask me why I use the gloves. The gloves help me, especially in this hot weather when the client can be a little sweaty, to have a good grip on the skin, on the muscle. Was some work on the triceps, all into the shoulder, deltoids, biceps, some active release technique for the biceps. Really helpful. If you have, for example, shoulder pain, but you don't know that if it's come from the rotator cuff or if it's come from the biceps, that is attached into the shoulder. And then some work again on the rhomboid.
Sì, stira la persona.
So here you can see some work on the adductor, but at the same time, you can work on the gracilis, or you can work on the kneecaps and on the vasto. This is a work on the gracilis, active release technique from the gracilis. It's really interesting working in this position.
Molesta un poco, no?
And you can even work on the hamstring. So you have so many possibility to work on the body in every position possible. And that's what I want to show, that a massage doesn't have to be so conventional. It can be in every position. It can be when you're sitting on your chair, when you're standing, when you're laying down.
Ponte así. Esto así. Ok.
Some dog technique for the upper
Respira.
thoracic.
Oh,
Respira. E fuori todo. Relaja, relaja, relaja. Ok, muy bien. Bien.
mi columna, sí, así, ya siento, claro, al hacerme así, siento que la columna se suelta.
Sí, se suelta un poco.
Oh,
I think I forgot to cut this. Sorry for the inconvenience. It was such a long footage. Here I was trying to release the.
Ninguno. Non ti suena.
I don't know. I don't remember if
me
they
suena
were
todo.
tight or not. Again, we're moving now to the feet and to the tibialis. Tibialis anterior, that is involved in a lot of action, especially for people that run, that have shin splint. So you want to be able to release this muscle. And I think active release technique can help a lot. Lately, the tibialis anteriors has becoming really interesting, especially for the rehabilitation of the knee, thanks to the knee over toes guy. The guy that kind of revolutionize all the theories in the, oh my god, you can see it's so hot that I'm sweating out of my gloves. That's disgusting. I was even disgust myself. I need to I change my glove after.
Sto prendendo il sudore dallo sguardo, sto prendendo
Disgusting, man. Yeah. Sorry about it. It was so hot. That's one of the problems when you use gloves. That your hands become like a when you are under the water for a long time. There's some more work on the tibialis.
Te guadagno, questo è bene.
And now some work on the
Questo movimento
gastrocnemium.
con lo spiede. Questo movimento con lo spiede.
I think the extension and the flexion of the plantar is the best way to work on this muscle and even allow you to reach the tibiali posteriors.
Sì.
Oh, por Dios.
And you can even work on that on the base of the talus, try to release the fascia down there. This is a great technique to work on the plantar fasciitis. Plantar fasciitis, that is already there, you need to do a lot of exercise to get rid of it. Now we are working on the quad. TFL always tight, and sometimes the TFL is tight, goes all the way down into the knee. Some work on plantar fascia. We know how it's important for balance, stability of the foot. You want the plantar fascia to be strong, so that you don't have any kind of overpronation, but you have a good grip on the ground. If you like foot massage, in your Patreon you have tons of foot massage. Those are the classical reflexology point that can be related to the intestine, to the liver, to the heart. I just consider them part of the fascia, part of the muscle. Who knows who's right? You know, this reflexology has been there for forever. We never know how, even if it now seems a little spiritual or parascientific. Who knows, maybe in the future we can find some real connection with it scientifically. Now we have some work on the back chain, starting with the gastrocnemius, some work on the solio. You can see a similar technique I was doing before, but facing down. You can even use that foot to work different part of the calf. And you can play the piano with the foot, especially if there is some tension in there. And then some work on the hamstring. Pretty easy to reach in this position. You can work the bicep femoris, semitendineoso, semimembranoso, and then some classical pin and stretch where you see everywhere, especially in the middle of competition where the legs get really tight. This can be really helpful, and it's really pleasurable actually. Some other work into the ischial tuberosity. You want to always give to your fist kind of a laterally or medially, depends on what muscle you're working, if you're bicep femoris or semitendineoso, so that you kind of open the muscle in the middle, like you want to spread that muscle laterally. Now some more work on the hamstring and the attachment of the calf into the femur, some stretching. See what I mean? Always going laterally so that you open that septum between the semimembranoso and the bicep femoris. Stretching of the psoas from the lateral position, almost lateral, and you can even work on that knee when you're in that position. Then, of course, you have great access to the 6 deep rotators. You know, Thai massage can be used even for cellulite. So if a really good deep tissue massage, it's really helpful for a lot of they have a lot of benefit. Like consider just the release of oxytocin and opioid in your body, and how it's gonna reduce the cortisol levels, so your stress level in general. And now you have some more work on deep 6 rotators with this Thai technique. As I say, body mechanics is super important. So you want to have, even when you stay in this position, you probably want to stay on the balls of your feet so that you have a really connection with the ground and you can move freely from one position to the other. Then stretching of the femur, like mobilize the femur and the hips.
Oh, qué dolor.
Aquí, ¿no?
And of course, some glute medius activation, piriformis activation, so that you can really go deep in that muscle and release the back pain. Sometimes, I repeat so many times, the back pain can be caused by the hip that is not really mobile. So you want to try to release all the muscle around it, starting with adductor and all the 6 deep rotators, the piriformis in particular, that can be really problematic for sciatica problem, and really release all that muscle so that the back can be more stable and the hips can have more movement, and avoid that the back does the work of the hips. That is, the work of the hips is to be mobile. The work of the back is to be stable. That's why we have the abs. That's why we have the.
Wow.
Okay, there are some muscles that never come to my mind every time I got to explain it, and that are the obliques. So the obliques, the abs help to stabilize the back. And now you can see me go on top of the client. Of course, you got to be really in connection with them, tell them what you're gonna do. You cannot do that in some part of US. And it's really great because it gives you this technique to really put all your weight on that thoracic. Try to avoid put all your weight on the lumbar in this position, and give you access to both rhomboid, both trap, and of course into the pec minor and the stretching of the chest. When you stay a long time facing down, this feels really good. Nothing extreme about this technique. You probably see millions of times in any Thai massage you can receive any part of the world. But I like to mix it. I like to create a Western inspired kind of massage. Here some stretching of the QL that we know that it's really important in connection with the glute medius on the other side to maintain the horizontal position of the hips. And now I'm start working on the iliocostalis, on the rhomboid, and on the trap. She has a really tight trap we see from the beginning, tendency to put the shoulder up into the ear. This other technique is pretty good to opening the chest in the same time working on a trap. Some lumbar, some shoulder roll, why not?
¿Está haciendo daño? Bien.
Está bien.
Yeah, if you follow me until here, this is probably the moment when you fall asleep. Because I'm falling asleep myself. But that's what massage is supposed to be. Make you relax, make you fall asleep. Here another technique on the trap. Let go all the way into the neck, into that area where you can develop cervicogenic headache. So you wanna opening up that 4 little muscle that I never remember the name, but they are really connected and can create a lot of problem. if they're tight. Especially when you stay a lot in front of the computer, in the phone, you have this upper cross syndrome, you have this super tight sternocleidomastoideo and SAM and super tight muscle in the back of the skull. So you want to really pay attention to that muscle. For me, that's one of the more interesting parts. And this part is pretty interesting. It's a sideline massage for the QL. I think there isn't better position than this one to work the QL. I'm starting with the erectors, both sides, and then I will try to open up the QL in this position. I will use the leg, I will use everything possible to release that tight QL that can create a lot of problem in the lower back. Some myofascial release master, they just stay for a long time in this position. I like moving, but some of them they will stay for 1 minute, 2 minutes in that position, try to release the QL. You can do that. In the video will be so long and so not interesting to watch, so I avoid that. I'm asking the client now to press against my elbow, my forearm, so that I can work through the QL and reaching the sacro. When I reach the sacro, I give some little percussion with my elbow in different parts of the body. And then I work with my thumb all the way up into the neck. You want to create space. The idea is generally we have one hip that is higher than the other. Where it's higher, the QL is most of the time really tight. So you want to open it up so that you balance the hips. And with the balance of the hip, you will have a balance of the shoulder. And you probably release some, not only the QL pain and back pain, but even some neck pain. So now you have some work on the shoulder. Try to work the manguito rotatore, but this is more work on the joint. You want to work on that. So I'm opening here to work on the latissimus, then some again on the rhomboid traps with this tight technique. I mean, I say tight technique because I'm learning doing Thai massage. I guess probably was there, maybe even in deep tissue or in just a normal massage. So I'm pushing so that the rhomboid is contracting. And then I have some manipulation of the scapula up and down. Some work on the deltoids, posterior deltoids. Some work in the front, try to release that biceps. And then another technique that you have to be really in trust. The client has to trust you in this position because you're laying with her, you're working on the chest, you're sitting on the table, and you put the arms all around you. So there are so many things that can be not to be trusted, especially nowadays. So we are try to release this
Y después yo cojo y te doy y te hago.
this chest,
Claro, si quieres.
biceps in this position. Feels really good because you're massaging in a stretching position.
Es
And you
una
can see the
broma.
access of the facility you have to work all this glenohumeral joint, this scapula, shoulder joint. You know, you have so many possibilities here, and you're comfortable. You're comfortable. You can even work on a rotator cuff. Really great position.
Bien.
You can work on the neck, in the trap. Amazing. You can stretch them. And then you can open, like I was saying, and keep on working on that chest. And I got to tell you, this position feels amazing for the client.
Wow.
And now back again to the lumbar. We will do some really interesting technique now for the
Pero así.
Así.
erector spine.
Questo si come doloroso.
So this is a fetal position, and then you're gonna ask the client to
Así.
change position while you try to work
Vale.
Vamos.
the erectors. She looks like a swim
Spazio, quédate ahí.
synchronicity swim competitor when she does that, but you can look that, yeah, it's like opening up.
¿Qué tal?
Bien.
Vamos ahí. Cambia.
Really interesting flexion, extension of the spine. You can work with different tools. Of course, we will be much better without the top,
Cambia.
to be honest, but you know, there's a limit. And again, some work on the QL. I was telling you, you can work on QL with the legs on top of the table, or just make the
Que se estira.
legs
Un poco para
down so that you can stretch the QL, and you can even do a pin and stretch of the QL. See that? So you ask the client to press up and then to release.
Empuja para arriba.
To press up
Y relaja.
and to release. And every time you have more and more range of motion, and then you help the muscle to extend, to stretch.
Déjame moverte. Ahí.
So I worked on the
Ahí lo nota, ¿no?
Sí.
QL in different with the lats band. I really love working on sideline. So guys, I have like I say, I have a Patreon. It's deep tissue massage on the plus size women, and I don't talk on that Patreon. It's just a massage itself. So if you wanna check, please go on Deep Tissue Massage Lovers, and I see you soon. Thank you very much.